my boss, but showed no sign of discomfort during the heat of the day, in spite of his tightly knotted tie and long trousers. He watched me carefully, as he always did when offering criticism of my fellow countrymen. "That particular limey bastard," I said quietly, "is 61 years old, has a metal plate in his skull and a leg filled with German shrapnel." "Stash the gypsy violin feller. You want to make me weep?" "You treat old Dempsey as if he's simple-minded. I'm just reminding you that he did 4 years with the long-range desert group. He's lived in Algeria for the best part of 30 years. He speaks Arabic with all the local dialects, and if it comes to real trouble in the desert, we'll need him to use that sextant." Man sat down at the table and began toying with the Swiss Army penknife that he bought in the souvenir shop at Geneva Airport. "If the wind starts up again tonight," he balanced the knife on its end, "sand will make that road south impassable. And I don't need your pal Percy to tell me that." "Even in the Land Rover?" "Did you see that 3-tonner down to the axles?" He let go of the knife, and it stayed perfectly balanced. "Sand that bogs down a 3-ton 6x6 will bury a Land Rover." "They were gunning the motor," I said. "You bury yourself that way." "You've been reading the Camping in the Desert section of the Boy Scout Handbook," said Man. Again he banged the folding knife down onto the table, and again it balanced on its end. "And in any case," he added, "how do we know the Rusky will be able to steal a 4-wheel drive? He might be trying to get here in a Maskovich sedan for all we know." "Is he stupid?" "Professor Bekov's intellect is not universally admired," said Man. "During the time he was with the Russian scientific mission at the UN, he wrote 2 papers about little men in flying saucers, and earned his reputation as a crank." "Defecting cranks don't get the department's okay," I said. "Looking for messages from little men in flying saucers probably motivated his work on masers," said Man. "And Bekov is one of the world's experts on masers." "I'm not even sure I know what a maser is," I said. "You read the technical brief." "Twice," I said, "but not so as to understand it." "Maser," said Man. "It's an acronym. M for microwave, A for amplification, S for stimulated, E for emission, R for radiation. Do you mind if I take notes?" "Listen, dummy. It converts electromagnetic radiation from a whole range of different frequencies to a highly amplified coherent microwave radiation. Is it anything to do with a laser?" "Well, a maser is a laser, but a laser is not necessarily a maser." "Is it anything to do with that guy looking in a mirror who says, 'Brothers and sisters have I none'?" "Now you're beginning to get the idea," said Man. "Well, somebody must be very interested in masers," I said. "Well, they wouldn't have sent us 2 down here to provide Bekov with a red carpet reception." "Or interested in flying saucers," said Man. "If this Russian is such an idiot, what makes anyone believe that he's capable of escaping from that Russian compound, stealing a roadworthy vehicle, and getting all the way up here to meet us?" "Don't get me wrong, pal. Bekov is crazy like a fox. Maybe he is a flying saucer freak, but when he was in New York with that UN scientific setup, he was reporting back to the KGB. He joined the 1924 Society. Crackpots, maybe, but they have some of the world's top scientists as members. Bekov was only too keen to read them long papers about gabfests through the galactic plasma by Soviet scientists. But he was listening very carefully when they told him what kind of work they were doing with their radio telescopes and electromagnetic wave transmissions." Major Man ran his fingers back through his wispy hair that each day went grayer, now that he'd used up the last of his dark rinse. Almost without being conscious of what he was doing, he pushed his hair over the balding patch at the back of his head. "Professor Bekov was a spy, don't ever forget that. No matter how you dress it up as being a free exchange of scientific know-how, Bekov was skillfully digging out a whole lot more than rumors about flying saucers." I looked at Man. I'd seen plenty of such men all the world over, from the Shetlands to Alaska, and all the way through communist Algeria too. Footloose Americans, their linen clean and their livers tormented. Soft accents blunted by a lifetime of traveling. It would have been easy to believe that this wiry 50-year-old was one of those
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.